Olestra is a molecule that resembles very closely to a fat molecule. Olestra is artificially created with the help of soybeans or cottonseed oil. But what makes Olestra different from fat is that it cannot be digested by the human body. Olestra is such a large molecule compared to regular fat that the body does not recognize and does not have the enzymes available to break it down. That is why Olestra is non-caloric. It does not provide calories towards our energy needs. And it does that because it cannot be broken down or absorbed for energy utilization because it is foreign to our human body. So the reason we have Alestra in our world of food and nutrition is because it is used sometimes as a fat replacer. It is important to note that the use of Alestra is authorized in the United States, but it has not been authorized in Canada yet. So it is used as a fat replacer because it has a very similar structure, texture, and use to fat. So Alestra can be used for baking, it can be used for frying or cooking, and it will have the same effects as your regular fat, so like your oils, your butters, etc. So the structure of Alestra is a ring structure, and that ring structure can have up to 8 fatty acids. And we know that fatty acids are a component of regular fats. So in regular naturally occurring fats, we see that glycerol backbone and we see those fatty acids. But in Alestra, we see a sucrose-like ring with 8 fatty acids. So the controversies and complications related to Alestra is that since it is an artificially created fat molecule, our body is unable to recognize, therefore it is unable to break it down. If it is unable to break it down, that means Alestra is going to be leaving our body undigested and just how it came in. So Alestra, therefore, is excreted from the body without being broken down. So if it is not being broken down, the calories within Alestra cannot be utilized by our body. This also causes anal leaking of an oily discharge, and that oily discharge is the result of the Alestra not breaking down. So however we are ingesting it, that's exactly how we will excrete it. So since it's not being properly digested, improper digestion of Alestra may lead to diarrhea, gas, cramping, and that anal leaking of oily discharge. So another aspect of Alestra is that we know that fats are a very important macromolecule that our body needs in order to absorb several vitamins and minerals. For example, vitamin D is an essential vitamin that we need for calcium absorption. But in order for vitamin D to be absorbed into our body, we need fat. So when we're consuming fat from our diet, the vitamin D is able to absorb into our body. But if Alestra is a fat molecule, it is a molecule similar to fat, and it is not being absorbed by the body. If it is not being absorbed by the body, it is inhibiting that the absorption of fat-soluble vitamin and minerals. So vitamins and minerals like vitamin D will not be able to be absorbed because of Alestra. If the fat is not being absorbed, the vitamin and mineral will not be absorbed as well. So this may cause deficiencies in several vitamins and minerals that require fat, such as vitamin D. So why do we have Alestra in our market? The reason we have Alestra in our market is because it may be used for weight loss. And this is still controversial and it is still being researched, but the reason it is suggested that Alestra may be used for weight loss is because it is non-caloric. It's a molecule very similar to fat, so you still get that satisfaction of cooking with fat and having that fat texture in your foods. But at the same time, since Alestra is not being broken down and digested in your body, if it is not being broken down, you are not getting any calories from that. So if you're not consuming those calories, it will contribute to weight loss because you're consuming less calories than you would if you had fat in your diet. But what's important to note that weight loss is not related to fat. This is a common misconception that if we are not consuming fat, then we will be losing weight. That is not true. If we want to lose weight, it is dependent on our calorie intake. We may replace our regular fats with Alestra, but if we are still consuming a high calorie diet, then we will not see the effects of weight loss. So it is important to not confuse weight loss and fat. And that is essentially what is Alestra. So it is a artificial fat molecule. It can be used in our foods to mimic what we would have from regular fats. So we're able to fry and cook and bake with Alestra. But since it is a large molecule and it is a foreign molecule, our body is unable to digest it because it does not have the enzymes to be able to break it down.